In this video, I go over my top 10 picks for New Comic Book Day, September 1st, 2021. What is going on, guys? Justin here, aka No Good Comics, and welcome back to the channel. We are talking about top 10 picks for New Comic Book Day, September 1st, 2021. I can't believe we are about to hit September. The summer, I don't know where it's gone. It's crazy. Football season is just about here. I'm very excited for that. But we're not here about football. We're here to talk about comic books and the top 10 coming out next week for New Comic Book Day. So if you're here for that, make sure you smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you are in the live chat premiere right now, thank you so much for hanging out. If you guys ever want to catch this premiere video live, it's always at Thursday, 12:30 Eastern time. So I appreciate everybody who's here hanging out right now. So before I get into my top 10 picks that I always do, I want to give a community shout out. This shout out is going to go to my main man, Michael, aka Sov Collector, over on Instagram. If you guys don't know him, he is a die-hard Ghost Rider fan. He can tell you anything and everything Ghost Rider, and he is definitely a die-hard. So I appreciate Michael. He's been such a supporter of my channel. I was lucky enough to meet him over at Terrificon a couple weeks ago. All right, so look who I just ran into. My man with the dope shirt, Sov Collector. What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, man. How's the show?
Good.
All right.
Love it.
All right.
Love
all right.
the show.
Finally get to meet this dude, man. Good stuff, man. I appreciate you wearing that, man.
Absolutely.
Really do.
Absolutely. Got to support the best show on YouTube.
Hell yeah. I appreciate that, brother. It was really cool to just kind of hang out, talk comic books. We were talking about, he was telling me he was getting into Daredevil and things that weren't just Ghost Rider. And I know he reads a lot of different things, but really nice guy, really great person for the community. If you guys don't follow him, I put his information in the description below. He's over on Instagram. He doesn't do much on YouTube that I know of, but he certainly is active over on Instagram. So if you want to talk comics, or more importantly, want to talk Ghost Rider, make sure you reach out to Michael, aka Sov Collector. And Michael, again, appreciate you for everything that you do. And that is my shout out of the week. So let's get into the books here. I'm going to kick it off with my number my number 10 book. And that's going to be this one here. It's an Aftershock book called Almost American. And I'll admit, I don't know much about this book other than the fact that it is an Aftershock issue number 1. And for those of you who have been following my platform, you know that I will give any Aftershock issue number 1 release a go. I will give it a shot. So this is written by Ron Mars, artist Marco Castiello. And yeah, it looks like it's based on somewhat of a true story, or real life story, and real life spies. So yeah, it's about two spies back in 2008, husband and wife, who essentially try to, what looks like they walk into the U.S. Embassy in the Dominican Republic in order to defect, making a deal to trade secrets for new lives. But instead, the American dream, instead of the American dream that they were going for, they find themselves caught up in red tape, bureaucracy, and turf wars between the FBI and CIA. So again, I don't know if it's necessarily my style of book, but I'm sticking to my guns with the idea of giving anything Aftershock puts out a shot. So I'm looking forward to it. That's made my list. It's number 10 on the list. So there you go. Almost American, issue number 1. Let's see, my number 9 pick. I'm going to go with TELEPATHS. This is an AWA Upshot book. It's by Michael Straczynski, who has just been killing it with one of my favorite series out right now, Moths, which I think I talked about either last week or the week prior. Been loving that series. He's done a lot for AWA Upshot, and a lot of it ties in. So I'm assuming that this is another tie-in to kind of that whole world that he's been putting together. But I'm not 100% sure. But I mean, certainly everything else so far has been really tied into that. So also Steve Epting doing the artwork in here. So I do like Epting's work. So yeah, that's gonna be my number 9 pick of the week. TELEPATHS, issue number 1. Again, just kind of going into it blind, gonna see what it's about. And AWA Upshot, they've been doing a lot of good things too. So that's my number 9 pick. Let's see, going to my number 8 pick, I'm going to go with a Bad Idea book. I know people have mixed feelings about Bad Idea, but I have to say I really like the books that they've been putting out. The writers and the creators that they've been working with, they've really been putting out some really good content. So I'm going to give it a shot. It's almost like Aftershock, where it's like I'm going to give any issue number 1 a shot. Now, for me, I'm grateful that my LCS Zap Comics, they have access to the Bad Idea books. So, you know, I am able to, you know, get all these issue ones whenever they come out, assuming my shop doesn't sell out. But they usually have a good amount, and they do limit it to one customer per book. So, you know, gives a chance to other people to, you know, get some of these books. Yeah, so this is Pirate Queen, issue number 1. And one of the first things that really stood out to me about Pirate Queen is Peter Milligan is the one that did the writing for this, and he is the one that also did the writing for an Aftershock book that just came out recently that I had talked about called God of Tremors. And it was like a one-shot horror magazine size, like 51 pager, and I thought it was excellent. So I really like the writing style. I like how Milligan told the story in that one shot. So I am definitely on board for this Pirate Queen. Looking at just some of the breakdown of it, it seems that, I mean, it just says that you embark on a tale of love, loss, life, death, and bloody revenge. This girl here, Monday Ryan, it's her and her family that are like taking on the world essentially, or let's see, it says a pirate with a bad reputation and a price on her head. To be a pirate is to live a short and merry life, and to live it free. Man, it's actually a pretty lengthy breakdown. Some of the things that stood out to me, let me see, just scrolling through. So apparently her husband and a crew of bandits, they get targeted in a pursuit with the British Royal Navy, and they get led into a trap, which they end up getting captured. And with that, they were going to apparently hang her, but when they found out that she's pregnant, they didn't give her the noose. Instead, they put them on a small raft and let them drift. But it does seem like they killed the father. So she is basically now seeking revenge. She wants to bring her child into a world that doesn't need revenge because she's already taken care of it. So anyways, it just sounds like a wild ride altogether. So definitely looking forward to it. So that is going to be my number 8 pick of the week, Pirate Queen, issue number 1. Let's see, going into number 7 here. Here's an issue number 2. This is a Dark Horse book called Lucky Devil, issue number 2. I talked about issue number 1. I really, really enjoyed it. And of course, it is Cullen Bunn, who has just been killing it on all these horror books that he's been putting out. Just really, really enjoying it. So I really enjoyed this last one. It's kind of about a guy who became possessed by a demon, and then he wanted to do something about it. Like, he basically like couldn't sleep. Like, during the day he was himself, at night he was the demon. He did all these really bad things. He kind of liked a part of the demon because the demon didn't take crap from anybody, and he would just like, he was kind of like a boss in a sense. Meanwhile, this guy was kind of like not so much, you know, kind of a pushover. So he gets this exorcism, and basically the exorcism kind of goes wrong. It goes right and it doesn't go right. He separates the demon. The only thing is he left all the powers that the demon had inside him still. So now he's like no longer possessed, but he has all these like crazy evil powers. So he's trying to figure out like what he wants to do with them, and the demon's still around. So there's this whole, debacle with that. But anyways, I'm really looking forward to this. So that is Lucky Devil issue number 2 for my number 7 pick of the week. Let's see, going into my number 6 pick, I'm going to go with Magic the Gathering issue number 6. I feel like it's been a while since I've talked about this book. I do believe I'm like I might be 2 or 3 issues behind on this book, but overall, I'm really enjoying what I've read so far. For those of you who don't know, I used to play a lot of Magic the Gathering, so I think that tie into this kind of hits home a little bit more for me than it may other people. However, I do think it's a very entertaining book, and I don't think you necessarily need to know a lot about the game or the rules or anything like that. Or you definitely don't need to know anything about the rules or anything like that in order to get into a book like this. It's just based on some of the characters that the card game is based on as well. I'm just looking at this cover right now. This is what really caught my eye. When I go through online and I look at all the new releases, that's one of the big things too, is like, seeing what's caught my eye, seeing what I've already been reading. This is by Boom Studio. Boom Studio's they've just been putting out so many great hits. And Jed McKay, he's the one doing the writing for this. I really like his writing on here. I like his storytelling. The artwork is by this guy, Guara, who I am not very familiar with other than this particular series, but I'm really digging it. I do think I'm a couple issues behind, but this really like was an alarm to me, where I'm like, I got to get back on this. I got to make sure that I catch up with this, because those first couple issues were really good, and I'm really enjoying it. So whether you are a fan of Magic the Gathering or not, I think that this book can be for anybody, especially if you are into the majestic wizards and demons and goblins and that kind of, folklore type stuff. So good stuff there. That is going to be my number 6 pick of the week. Let's see, I'm flying here. I'm flying by. We're halfway through. Number 5, I'm going to go with Dark Ages number 1. So another issue number 1. A lot of the issue 1s I usually keep to the back end of my top 10 list. This one's kind of right in the middle. I am actually just very excited for this because of the fact that it's written by Tom Taylor. And you guys, if you've been following me, you know how I feel about Tom Taylor, his writing with Nightwing, and just in general. So, I've kind of decided that anything he does moving forward here, I'm just going to dive in, no questioning it. Just going to check it out either way. But look at this cover, man. I mean, that right away just screams like awesomeness. Like, it's dark. It certainly has a dark vibe to it. You have some of your favorite heroes that are in the shadows. You're not quite sure what this is or how this is going to tie into things, or what it's about compared to the rest of like the Marvel universe right now. But clearly it is not good times. And so, yeah, I'm going to give this a shot. I don't know much else, much other details other than the fact that it's Tom Taylor. The artist is Iban Coelho, who I am not very familiar with either, but definitely looking forward to it. This is his cover art here. So, yeah, that's going to be my number 5 pick of the week. Dark Ages number 1. Let's see, getting into another issue number 1. This is my number 4 pick, Batman Fear State Alpha number 1. Now, I know Tynan's been working on this whole big thing to go into this story arc, Fear State, and it's going to take place over a few different series. So I know Harley Quinn series is involved. I think Nightwing is involved. I don't remember the list. I don't have the list in front of me, but there's like, I think 5 or 6 different, the I Am Batman that just came out, that's also going to be involved. Maybe Catwoman too. So there's gonna be like 5 or 6 different series or separate titles that are all gonna kind of tie into this Fear State. Of course, Batman being another major title, and Detective Comics as well. So this is kind of like the first official issue. Like, there's been other little things that are leaking into setting this up. I know the previous Harley Quinn that just came out, where she kind of ties things with Catwoman. They're in this issue together. That had a kind of an intro, as well as it's continuing to build on this. Tynan's been working on this for a while now with the Batman title. I know a lot of people have been kind of hit or miss with the Batman title. I personally have been really enjoying what I've read so far. I love Jimenez's work, and Tynan's writing is just, I love what he's doing. So I am trusting that this is going to be something I'm excited for it either way. So I'm going to give Fear State a shot, and I think for this event, I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to read all the different books, because I know there's a lot of different, as I said, different titles that are going to be like crossovers. But I think I'm going to stick with it. I think I'm going to read some of the other titles that I might not be reading. I know Harley Quinn I'm all in on, but I know there are some that I'm not reading Detective Comics, which maybe shame on me. That's probably something I should start reading. I know people have talked to me about that before as a recommendation. Certainly a little intimidated because of the fact that it's this, long ongoing thing, even though I know there's, sub stories that you can really jump into. But anyways, I will be giving those a shot. Anything that's tied into Fear State, I'm going to be all in on, and see how that goes, at least for the, the first couple rounds, first couple weeks. And if I'm enjoying it, I will stick with it. So yeah, that's going to be my number 4 pick of the week. Look at that. Another issue number 1, reaching within the top 5 there. Very nice. Let's see. Number 3, I'm going to go with the Many Deaths of LAILA STARR issue number 5, another Boom Studio book. This has just been great. I really, really am enjoying this. I feel like maybe this got pushed back a little bit. I feel like it's been a little while now since I've talked about issue 4. Ram V is the writer. If you guys don't already know, Ram V's been killing it on a lot of different titles, this being one of his big ones right now. And as an indie storyline, I'm all in on it. The short end of it essentially is about this girl, LAILA STARR, who used to be the goddess of death, and that was her job. And then a certain someone is coming along where he has the power to give mortality to individuals, and so because of that, the gods have decided that they no longer need death, and so they fire her. So it's her trying to kind of get her job back, and in a way following this kid who's going to grow up to be able to have this power of giving mortality or immortality, and she wants to take him out essentially so she can get her job back. So it's a really creative and interesting story. I think it's really well told, and yeah, I mean, this is issue 5. I don't know if this is the final issue. If they're only doing 5, I hope not. I hope that this is going to continue. I don't know if this is ongoing or not, though. A lot of series nowadays, you guys notice that? A lot of series just being 5 issues. I mean, I get it. It's like they don't want to fully commit. They want to see what, they want to test the waters. And I guess it's kind of good. Things button up. It's just hard to write a really good ending sometimes. I feel like I've been let down by a lot of issue 5s lately. But hey, who knows? And I could be completely... Oh, no. I see it here. It is a finale. Damn it. Well, there you go. So this is the finale of the Many Deaths of LAILA STARR. If you guys are not already reading this, maybe you wait for the trade at this point, or if you can get access to buying the first 4 issues, do that, because it is a really good read. Hopefully Ram V can end this in a nice way, or maybe he ends it in a way where they end up doing more issues down the road, which I know there are several series that are doing that now as well, even though they initially started with only 5 issues. We'll see how it goes. But that's going to be my number 3 pick of the week. The Many Deaths of LAILA STARR, issue number 5 by Ram V. Let's see, number 2 on the list. I've mentioned her several times, I think, already, just when I was talking about the Fear State, the Batman stuff. Harley Quinn has an annual, issue number 1, coming out, and I am all on board with this. I just read Harley Quinn issue number 6, the tie-in with Catwoman, the setup again to, like I was saying before, Fear State. I'm really enjoying what Stephanie Phillips is doing here. She's killing it. I think she's killing it. She's the writer right now. She's been writing all the Harley Quinn stuff. If you guys are not on this or not aware of that, Stephanie Phillips also did Nuclear Family from Aftershock. That was another title of hers, amongst other things. I know she's done a lot of work, but I'm really looking forward to it. We have a lot of the players here. You can see this cover here. I mean, looks like you have Joker here. I mean, everybody, literally all the villains are here. Even Kevin is here. If you guys don't know Kevin, I mean, you got to read a little bit of Harley Quinn and you'll meet Kevin down at the bottom right here in the corner here. But anyways, curious where this annual is going to go. It's 48 pages, so I'm looking forward to that. I noticed that it's not Riley Rossmo doing the artwork this time around. It is David LaFuente and Derek Chu doing some variant covers as well. But David LaFuente, I don't know much of his work, or at least not by name. Looks interesting here, so we'll see how it goes. But I've really been growing to Rossmo's work. I want more Riley Rossmo. I know this issue 6 wasn't him either, so I was a little bummed about that. So I want more Riley Rossmo with Harley Quinn. I'm actually really enjoying that. So we'll see where that goes, but here's the annual one as my number 2 pick of the week. Harley Quinn, it's been a really good series. I do recommend it if you guys are not reading Harley Quinn, even if you're not a fan per se, although I will say I've become a very big fan of her, the character. But yeah, give it a shot. That's my number 2 pick. So before I get into my number 1 pick, make sure, again, as a reminder, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Thank you all that are in the premiere chat right now for taking the time to hang out. I always appreciate it. I've got a lot of different things coming up, a lot of different things in the works. I know this past week, I didn't have an Origins show this Saturday. Also, I'm not going to have an Origins show, but I will be back September 4th. For that, I will be interviewing Comic Man Andy for September 4th. That's Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern here on the channel. So looking forward to kind of getting back into that rhythm. Just closing out the summer here. So, if you guys have been watching, I've been playing a lot of golf lately on the weekends, getting ready for football, as I mentioned before. So there's just a lot of different things going on, spending time with family and doing a lot of other, going out and things like that. So we will, get back on course here with the Origins show, but appreciate everybody who's been waiting patiently. I have a lot of people lined up still, so I'm looking forward to that as well. And then other than that, what was I going to say? This Sunday, depending on when you're watching this Sunday, I am going to be a guest on Ragin Cajun Comics YouTube channel. I'll put his information in the link in the description below as well. But Ragin reached out to me. He had just recently started a new show. This is going to be episode 4 for him, I think. And he asked me to be a guest, so I'm really excited to be collaborating with Ragin again. It's been a little while now, but he has been a brother to me, such a great friend, and a really great person to the community, very supportive to everybody here. So if you guys are not subbed up to him, make sure you are, and reach out to him. He's a good guy as well. And check out his show. It's going to be this Sunday. It's going to be 3 o'clock Eastern time, so looking forward to that as well. Keep an eye out for that. So let's get into that number 1 book. And again, thank you guys for hanging out, sticking with me here. Number 1 book's going to be The Lot, issue number 3. And that is a Bad Idea book. And man, I am loving this series. It's only 4 issues. I'm sad about that. You guys already know. But these horror books, these horror comics, I have just been so on board with. I mean, I'm... If you guys missed my haul from last Sunday that I did, you'll see some of the horror books that I picked up, some DC horror stuff. But like, this is just where my head's at right now. I'm really getting into a lot of the darker stuff, and The Lot really hits a home run with where my head is. I mean, even just the artwork here and the style, the black and white. I mean, this whole series is black and white, and it just fits that vibe so well. It takes place in the 1970s. It is essentially, or at least the grand scheme of the story is, because there's a lot to unpack here, actually. And actually, the second issue, we gained a lot. I mean, both issues, 1 and 2, you gain a lot of different things. I feel like issue 2 really opened up a lot of different storylines and getting an understanding, which is what scares me, because it's only 4 issues altogether. So I'm wondering, like, how are they going to button these things up, or where is it going exactly? How's this going to end? But technically we're only halfway, so I'm just gonna, buckle up and enjoy. But it's about this, the lot used to be an old lot that was used to film all these like horror films back in the day. And it was like this crazy psychotic team that would have their actors do like sick, disgusting things to themselves, like violence and pain to themselves, so that they could capture like real life reactions and emotion when they were filming these horror films that they were putting together. Needless to say, it got shut down years later, or the lot did anyways. But by that time, the writer and that team got so successful that they like lived their own life. So last issue, we learned a lot about the actual film writer. I think his name's Oliver Larson, is like the filmmaker of that time. And basically the lot itself got reopened up for this new team that's been putting together some new film. And that opened up a whole new can of worms. And that team goes digging deep to figure out the truth behind this evil lot and this I guess you can call them this evil or psychotic film team that used to be back in the 70s. So anyways, really good stuff. I understand if you don't, I know not everybody likes Bad Idea or certain things of how they do certain things, but if you're just looking for a great story, I highly recommend it. I should mention here too, it's written by Marguerite Bennett, who's just been doing a really great job. I know she's done a lot of other work for some of the big 2 and other things like that. Renato Guedes doing the artwork, and that's the cover there for this as well. No cover Bs, no variants or anything like that. I kind of like that. It's just the cover A. It's 40 pages, so these things are pretty long. The one thing that I wish is that they had digital versions, because you guys know me, I prefer to read digitally if I can. But I guess it is nice to kind of have to adjust and switch, and read a physical book once in a while, thanks to a company like Bad Idea for having me do that. So there you go. Anyways, that's gonna be my number 1 pick, The Lot, issue number 3. If you guys are not reading this, I do recommend it. If you can't get a copy, reach out to me. I have some people that might have extra copies, some stores, my LCS, and so on and so forth, that might not have sold out of issues 1 or 2 yet. I've gotten a couple copies for friends already, but I just want to spread this because it's just a great series. Marguerite Bennett doing a great job here. And if you like the horror stuff, This is it. This is it right here. So that's my number one pick of the week. The Lot, issue number 3. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of my top 10 picks for New Comic Book Day, September 1st, 2021. Again, I can't believe we are getting into September already. I hope you're all having a great summer, kind of closing out the summer, getting into the fall vibes. I know Dunkin' Donuts, I think, already has their pumpkin coffee, pumpkin spice coffee and things like that. So when you know that's out already, you know the fall is coming. You know football's here, all this stuff. So whether you love it or hate it, it's here. I'm looking forward to it. But I do enjoy the summer too. But hey, make sure you smash that like button on the way out. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you're following Michael, Sov Collector. He was my shout out of the week, my community shout out. So make sure you are following Michael as well over on Instagram. And subscribe to the channel if you're new. I hit 900, so I got to do a giveaway soon as we continue on to the 1K. So keep an eye out for that. Probably in the next week or two, I'll announce a 900 subscriber giveaway opportunity. So keep an eye out for that. But hey, until next time, I will talk to you guys later.